It's about freaking time they interviewed Tobey Maguire, the legend himself, about Spider-Man No Way Home. Here are my favorite moments from that interview.
Tobey Maguire, who of course started it all with the first 3 Spider-Men. Hi, Tobey.
Hello.
So for you, what was it like going back?
Well, I was just waiting to see if Tobey was going to do it, and if Tobey was going to do it, and I was like, well, I have no choice, you know. I follow Tobey to the ends of the earth.
Yeah, and how did you guys keep this a secret? But I mean, it really was a well-kept secret.
Oh, my back!
To be there, that I had to go at it a different way and kind of go, wow, look at my life. Look what's happened to me. I'm working with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and we're telling this story. And I would get emotional.
Look at little Goblin Jr. Gonna cry?
Hello, movie fans. Thanks so much for clicking on episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. Woo, we got back-to-back Side Flicks in the month of January. That never happens. So let's just get on to talk about it here. Some of the stuff we're going to be discussing here today is we have the confirmation we are getting a Mortal Kombat sequel, and they're looking to stay ahead to make this one good. We have the creative team behind the latest Scream movie talking about whether they'll make Scream 6. Of course, we got to dive into that glorious interview with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, and see what we can take away from it. That along with so much more. So I'm gonna need you movie fans to give me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. As always, timestamps are in the description, so if you want to skip around and be that kind of person and not hear my voice, go ahead and hurt my feelings. Just know I'm not gonna show up to your birthday. I had a good present too. And as a quick side note, guys, I was gonna add some news about Halloween Ends on this episode of Side Flick, since Jason Blum went ahead and released one of the first official stills from the movie, but as I got to talking about it and staring at this photo, I realized, hey, this deserves its own video, so I'll be posting that update on Halloween Ends later today, so be on the lookout for that if you're a Michael Myers fan. Alright, but without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into all the movie news we gotta discuss here today. You guys know, sometimes on Side Flick, I like to bring up a little movie nobody's talking about, but it sounds interesting from the plot. And boy, do we got that here today. The Hollywood Reporter has come out and said that actor Jake Gyllenhaal, one of my favorites in the industry, is set to star in a speedboat heist movie called Cut and Run for New Republic. Some of the details for this movie goes as John Glenn, who wrote Eagle Eye and Law Abiding Citizen, 2 movies I actually stand by and think they're pretty fun watches, is behind the spec script which was picked up in a competitive situation by New Republic. The long line for the project reads, a group of thieves using high-powered speedboats to rob super yachts steal the wrong thing from the wrong group of people. Come on, right there, you have a plot that sounds like it was pulled straight out of the 90s, and we just don't get action movies like this anymore. I love that Jake Gyllenhaal is this type of actor, that one day he can go do an independent movie that's a full-on drama, completely transform his body into a creepo, and then the next minute he could be a villain in a Spider-Man movie and totally rock that, but at the same time, he could also go back and do these sort of cheesy action movies. Boy, the man is killing it. But seriously, stepping back a little bit, this is like the perfect kind of action movie that I would love to see today, because all we get for action films are usually superhero films. Not that I'm complaining, look around. But every now and then it's good to get something a little different, even though this sounds just like Keanu Reeves' Speed, but on speedboats. I'm looking forward to this, and I just hope it's a fun little action popcorn time. How are you guys feeling on Jake Gyllenhaal's new movie, Cut and Run? Next on the agenda here, you guys know earlier in the month we had the release of the latest Scream movie, Scream 5, that I think for all intents and purposes, as far as a horror slasher go, was a complete success. I really ended up liking the movie, and all I was thinking at the end of it is I just want more of Ghostface in my life, and well, looks like we might have our answer to whether it could happen. We had here an interview with Radio Silence, the team behind the latest Scream film, and they were asked whether they would want to return for Scream 6 or if it's even happening, and they went ahead and said, we know that Guy and Jamie, the screenwriters for the movie, have a really great idea for where this saga goes. And I can say that we had such an amazing time making this one from start to finish. It's just like a dream come true. And if they'd have us back, we'd do it in a heartbeat. And look, I think it's just a matter of time before the studio officially announces that Scream 6 will be happening, and we'll get some sort of idea when they can film the movie and give it to us. Because this movie only cost them about $24 to $25 million to make, and so far as of me recording this video, it has made $86 million at the box office, tripling its money and then some, which in Hollywood terms, that's like what you want from a movie, so you're gonna want to make more of these. But as a fan of Scream, as much as I liked the recent movie and thought it was good, I am also ready for a big change in this franchise. Again, no spoilers or anything, but the way the latest Scream movie ended, it was a nice little twist and I enjoyed the motives of Ghostface. But at the same time, in the back of my head, little details about the way the ending goes with the reveal of Ghostface telling their plan, and then of course, whether they make it out at the end of the movie or not, I'm like, we have seen this play out now 5 times in different movies. With them saying here that they have a really great idea for where the saga goes, I hope it's kind of a little change of pace, that something new happens, that it's not just the same thing of like, okay, opening sequence, Ghostface taking people down one by one, then the last 10 minutes reveal who they are, tell their motive, and then kill them off screen. There you have another Scream. So I think they're definitely gonna make it. It's just a matter of time of when they're gonna do this. How are you guys feeling on Scream 6? And what would you like them to do different in the new movie? Moving on to something that I knew was gonna be getting a sequel, but we were just waiting for the official confirmation, and now we have it. Deadline here is reporting that New Line is moving forward with Mortal Kombat sequel from Moon Knight scribe Jeremy Slater scripting. This right here is a perfect example, like I was just mentioning with the last story, of something that we knew was probably going to get a sequel, but we had not heard an official confirmation until right now. And the reason I knew Mortal Kombat was going to be getting a sequel, even though there were a lot of people out there who didn't love that first movie, is because it was like the most watched HBO Max original movie of last year, outbeating Godzilla vs. Kong, Zack Snyder's Justice League. For some reason, the Mortal Kombat community showed up and made that thing explode. So to me, that really showed Warner Brothers that there was an audience for this movie. They were willing to check it out, and I would not be surprised if this sequel ends up being an HBO Max exclusive. But as far as what I think about Mortal Kombat 2 happening is, you know what? I'm really excited for it. I know that first movie is not perfect. It's definitely flawed. Some people really don't like it, but I had a lot of fun with it. I thought they did some cool things in that universe. And just to see on social media some of the people involved with the movie getting hyped about the sequel, posting stuff, only really excites me. But if you are somebody who did not like that first Mortal Kombat movie, I don't think you should be worrying about the quality of this one, because they have changed the writer for this movie, getting Jeremy Slater, who is going to be the person writing the Moon Knight series and has also worked on the Umbrella Academy for Netflix. That to me is a sign that Warner Brothers isn't just going to cash grab and get the same people make another similar movie and throw it out there for the public. They're like, okay, people care about this, they didn't completely love it, let's change things to try and make it better. Plus, I think the second movie has potential to be a lot better than its first. I mean, you're gonna bring in Johnny Cage, can't wait to see who they cast for that. Also, you're probably finally gonna do a tournament in a movie called Mortal Kombat that's all about tournaments. I think the potential for this franchise is to only go up from here, but I throw it off to you guys. Are you excited for Mortal Kombat 2? Who do you want as Johnny Cage? And what other characters do you want them to introduce into the movie? Moving on here, it looks like we can't go on a side flick without talking about some Batman, because the boy has just been marketing the heck out of his movie. We have some new footage here that has been released of some other TV spots that I'm just gonna play for you guys, some of those best moments.
Always loved little riddles.
Why is he writing to you?
I don't know yet. Gotham's the powder king, and Riddler's the match. Like it or not, it's his game now. What's black and blue and dead all over? You. If you think you can stop what's coming. The Batman.
We are starting to get into that territory of Batman footage where they're revealing maybe a little too much, and I kind of just want to hold and save the rest of it for when I see it in theaters, because I know I want to see this movie. But with that footage, it is so badass just to see Robert Pattinson's Batman just kind of walking down a building like that. That is an amazing shot. At the same time, also, I was someone who was very skeptical about this underground subway Batcave that Robert Pattinson was giving. I was not really a fan of that. But then this shot right here of Bruce Wayne basically riding into the Batcave with bats everywhere, lights set up like he has different stations. I'm like, okay, maybe this cave can actually work. With every new footage for this movie, it's just gotten my hype level through the roof, and I just need to see this film now. You guys see some of this latest footage for the Batman. What do you take of it? Do you think they need to stop revealing footage? Or are you going to watch it anyways? All right, moving on here. We finally got an interview that was done containing all three Spider-Men talking about the movie. Like, this is so historic to me. I know maybe the buzz has worn off for some people, but I am still just on this high that this movie actually existed. And even seeing this interview, like, can you imagine if this was in our hands months ago? We would be losing our minds. Now, it is a 30-minute interview, and I understand people don't always have all the time in the world to get through that. So just breaking down the most important things we can catch from this. But if you are a Spider-Man fan, I recommend you check it out. It's always nice to see these guys just talking to each other.
Tobey Maguire, who of course started it all with the first three Spider-Men. Hi, Toby.
Hello.
And then, of course, Andrew Garfield, who carried it on, and the next two. Hey.
Yeah.
And now Tom Holland, who's completed his first trilogy. We'll find out if there's more with Tom Holland right here.
Along with that, the interviewer also asked Andrew Garfield what made him get onto the movie, and I loved his response.
Well, I was just waiting to see if Tobey was going to do it, and if Tobey was going to do it, then I was like, well, I have no choice. You know, I follow Tobey to the ends of the earth. I'm a lemming for Tobey.
And then at the same time, Tobey Maguire explaining his little experience with getting that phone call to be back into the movie.
Amy and Kevin, Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige, and had talked about, they sort of just, teased it. I think Amy was like, we'd love to talk to you, and you know what this is about. And I was like, okay, sure. Let's have a chat. And
I think with Amy, you're like, no, I don't, Amy. No.
yeah, no, I know. I was
Like, what?
maybe you could just give me a little bit of information.
Now, as far as scoops or maybe news stories that come out of this, there are two little things. One, Tom Holland is playing really coy about whether he'll return to the character, saying he's fine if this is his goodbye, even though we know that's kind of BS.
I've achieved everything I wanted to with this character. And sharing it with these boys will be forever one of the most special experiences of my career. So if it's time, it's time. If it's not, it's not. But at the moment, I don't know.
He's definitely going to be coming back for Spider-Man 4. It's just a matter of time of how long it'll be, whether it's 3 years or maybe 5 years. But I think the most intriguing little part that came out of this interviewing process was when Tobey Maguire was talking about his character and whether it was a closing of the chapter for him, where he said it wasn't.
There are personal things too, which are kind of resolutions or a way to revisit and I'm not quite sure how to put it. It's just to get back into that, and I don't want to say like close the chapter, but revisit and have certain resolutions, and just join in this like loving creative spirit.
I think Tobey Maguire was very careful in choosing his words right there and wanting to say exactly what he meant about revisiting his character, but not that Spider-Man No Way Home was like closing off his Spider-Man. I feel like, to me, that lets me know Tobey is open to be coming back to be doing more movies, which is obviously something Sony really wants right now with the amount of money Spider-Man No Way Home has made. To me, it was just finally nice for Tobey Maguire to get asked about this movie, because my boy Andrew Garfield was getting it the worst out there. Let me know what you guys thought of this interview and if there are any important takeaways you got from it. But that is all the movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Stay tuned later on the channel for that Halloween Ends update. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.